Hello, it's Derek Craig. I'm with New Day Outdoors Productions. I'm also a longtime pro staffer for Magnus Broadheads, and I do a lot of R&D work with Magnus. Really believe in their heads. One thing you need to know about Magnus Broadheads are made 100% here in the United States in Great Bend, Kansas. So their customer service is second to none. Mike Som's the owner of Magnus and is a heck of a great guy, stand-up guy. And he will bend over backwards for you as a customer. So a product that's made here in the United States by a great company, Great Bend, Kansas, great customer service. So that being said, I want to go over a couple things that we've been getting some feedback lately on. One thing you need to know is, and this doesn't apply just to Magnus, this is rampant across the broadhead industry in particular right now, is counterfeit heads. There's several brands, all the top brands. Right now, there's counterfeit heads, and they're coming in from China, and they're being sold on eBay and Amazon in particular. So I don't care what brand of head you shoot, but Magnus falls same victim to it, is that these counterfeit heads, you're buying them, you're not getting the product that is being invested in R&D work and made by a brand name company. Again, you can rattle off all the top brands. All of them out there are being copycatted over in China, and they're being sold here in the United States as that brand. Just recently, we found one on Amazon, and it actually says in it, Magnus Stinger broadheads, and they're selling 6-packs for like $30 or something like that, which is a heck of a deal when you look at a 3-pack retails for just shy of $40. So, but the problem is it's cheap steel. So it's soft and it's dull. And then when somebody buys it and the head fails, a lot of times they go back because they think it's a Magnus product. They'll go back to Magnus and want Magnus to stand behind it. Now, not saying that Magnus always will, but there have been a few instances because Magnus is a stand-up company and Mike, who owns it, he'll actually stand up and say, okay, here's the real product. But don't be confused on what is out there on eBay and Amazon. There are all kinds of knockoffs. So look at the actual seller on either eBay or Amazon. Ask questions, because don't fall victim to that. It's your hard-earned money. So another thing we're also coming up with, people talking about the sharpness of broadheads. And I'm just going to grab a package out of my stash here. So I got this box I keep all my Magnus heads in. And as you can see, I've got quite the variety in here. Everything from Black Hornets to buzz cuts, 2-blade, 4-blade. That's what I like to shoot, so that's why I keep on hand. So I'm going to find me a pack. This pack right here has never been opened. Okay, you can see the staples are all crimped nicely. This pack has never been opened. This is a pack of 100 grain Magnus 4-blade buzz cuts. So we're going to open them up. Again, this is a random pack. I've had this pack for probably a year or two. Who knows? I got a whole bunch of them. And I cycle through them. And we're going to look at sharpness. Again, this is a random pack that's brand new. So the point being, I haven't opened these up and touched them up or anything like that. So here's a head out of here. Right there. As you can see, again, this is that 100% made in the USA quality. So watch those Chinese knockoffs because they look close. Okay. One thing, the Chinese knockoffs, they have more of a rounded serration, where Magnus uses more of a square serration, but always verify. So we're going to take this. We're just going to shave some hair. Okay. I'm just going to sit here and get it up here where you can see, hopefully. You can see right there. All that hair was just shaved off, brand new, out of the package. So, again, that's sharpness out of the package that you're getting with a Magnus head, whether it's a buzz cut, a Stinger, a Black Hornet, any of those, basically. We had a guy recently, I'm going to show you the video clip. And this is, Magnus really stands behind it. And sometimes, there's the old philosophy, the customer's always right, and you do what you can. And we had a customer send some heads back. I actually called Magnus, and he was mad. He was very angry, said that his legitimate Magnus heads were quote, dull as a butter knife. I've seen the emails back and forth. So anyway, so Mike, Magnus bent over backwards for him, said, hey, I'll send you some new heads. You send me the ones you got. I'll check them out. He did. What you're going to see is one of the 3 heads that he sent back in a sharpness test. And you're going to see in this, as I hit play, this is the machinist for Magnus, and this is on his arm, and he is shaving the hair off of his arm with a head that this guy said was as dull as a butter knife. Now, these heads were not touched up in any way, shape, or form. So, you know, at Magnus, we try our best. Magnus tries their best to get everything right. And even when you get things right, you get customers who complain. So my point is, you know, Magnus is not a perfect company at all. They do their best. They try hard. You know, every once in a while something slips through the cracks, but here was one where you get a customer who's probably going to write a negative review somewhere about the heads, and this is the actual head they sent back, and is shaving the hair off of somebody's arm. I really don't know, outside of a surgeon's scalpel, how you get any sharper than that in a production broadhead that we've got to send through a heavy-duty animal, and, you know, they're going to perform. They're just that sharp, they're going to perform. So can't make everybody happy, but that's my point. So one other thing I want to show you with you, we've had a couple other people call and say, you know, I screw them on one arrow type. Maybe it's a gold tip or, you know, whatever, Carbon Express, and they fly great. And then I screw them on a whatever other brand arrow and they don't. Well, a lot of times when we start talking to these customers, they've changed spines in the arrows, they've changed length. There's always something that changes. So make sure you're shooting the proper spine on your arrow. Another thing that we see sometimes is you see a lot of seconds in arrows, and I'm not knocking any store brands, but you can name all the big box stores, box hunting stores, Cabela's, Bass Pro. They have their own brands of arrows. Sometimes those arrows become a second. Might be a gold tip second or a Carbon Express second. I mean, I don't know. I'm just throwing out names out there. And sometimes in those seconds, you get an arrow that's just off. Okay, the spine's off. There's something wrong with that arrow, whatever. So make sure you're shooting whatever it is. Check all the spine on your arrows. Check them and make sure everything's straight and consistent. Spin test your arrows. Another thing, and a lot of shops don't do this, bow shops, when they sell you arrows and get set up, they don't face the arrows, okay? They cut them, they put them in their arrow saw, but they don't put them in a facing square, an arrow square. And so what I got here is, this is actually a facing square. This is made by G5. I don't know, there might be others. It's got aluminum carbon in. And so when you cut an arrow, again, this has got an insert in it, but the insert wouldn't be in there. You can face that and spin it, and it will sand that carbon off, okay, and get you nice and square. And then you can glue your insert in and everything's square. And then you can spin test your heads, okay? These are very sharp, so you really should be doing this with a broadhead wrench, okay? But you can spin test your arrows, okay, and put them on a spinner, okay? And you can set yourself up a piece of cardboard or something there on the end, and you can see if there's any wobble, okay? So again, make sure if you're having some problems, go through your arrows and see. Sometimes for whatever reason, an arrow didn't get faced right, or there's something manufacturing defect in that arrow. Put it on a spinner, do a spin test. If everything spins well, these heads are going to fly like your field tips do, okay? You got to have good shooting form. You got to have a tuned bow, and everything on your arrows got to be tuned so that it's spinning in a straight line with no wobble. They're going to fly right where your field tips do. So those are just a few tips as you go into your 2017 season, and want to wish everybody luck out there. Please be safe. God bless you all. If you have any questions, get a hold of Magnus either through email, on Facebook, there's Instagram, all the social media outlets. Magnus is out there. You can send me a message on Facebook or wherever through my New Day Outdoors site. So watch for cool hunting videos coming up this year from all the different Magnus guys. Again, good luck, be safe, and God bless.